Hey, Scott and I are back for another week session of whatever you want to call what we do here. What did I name this one? Oh, it's called "Can't You Say Anything Funny?" Does it does that make you wonder why I labeled it that, Scott?
Yes, it does, because you these are usually well thought out. So I know there's a
Yeah.
reason.
Well, they're slightly thought out.
Well,
Well, I was just thinking about this guy that always posts on Twitter that I follow, and I have been notified about this guy that he's really worried a few people because he always acts like he's ready to end his own life.
oh
And,
geez,
and his tweets involve, talking about how hopeless and how awful everything is.
oh my gosh.
And I was thinking, now imagine if your Twitter response was, "Can't you say anything funny?"
Oh
to,
god.
to one of his posts like that. Now we get a couple of it might get a laugh or two from people that are kind of the same cynical types that would view that as a funny, crude, and callous thing to say to somebody that's obviously hurting. But at the same time, that is the best advice to him is to say, the reason a lot of these comedians turn to comedy is because they've got these backgrounds where they're also prone to depression and stuff. But the idea of, I saw this TED talk where this guy was talking about just being systematic, that anybody can be humorous. And, we all think we can be humorous because we're always fishing for laughs here and there.
Yeah.
We all think we have got a little couple of buttons we can push to make other people laugh. And the system that this guy described on the TED Talk was probably mostly based on his personal experience. He had a lot of experience. He'd done stand up and all that, but mostly it came from his uh, improv. That
Oh yeah.
have you ever been tried improv, Scott?
No, I think I'd be okay. I don't know if
Oh,
I'd
I
be
think he'd be
funny.
great at it. I think he'd be great at it.
Well,
Uh,
I am very well known at work, and I've for being tapped and making impromptu speeches just out of the blue because
mhm.
it's just it seems like there's always something, and it's like, hey Scott, say something about this. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. And as part of my job at work, I do have to make presentations to my employees, and some of the managers just dread it. They
Yeah,
hate doing
well, I
them.
mean that's the old
Oh,
Toastmasters dread. They've heard you talk entirely too many times. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah. You get in a
but
postmasters group and some guy gets to stand up and he's just trying out a speech that he's done a million times. It's like, oh God, this thing.
Well, no. I was saying the other managers dread having to do these presentations,
Oh, okay.
not listening to mine. No, no,
Okay. Oh,
no. People
okay.
like mine.
See, I leaped.
I'm a good
I
public
leaped ahead of
speaker.
you there.
Yeah.
Everybody was. Oh my God! Here's Scott up on the podium
No,
again.
no. Well, so one of the jokes I had to do. One of my employees, she had a 20-year presentation, and she was basically told you cannot skip it. You got to do it. It's 20 years. And so they told me I had to do this presentation, and so I talked to her, and I know. She goes, well, I don't really don't want one. So I made her a deal. I said, I tell you what, I'll keep it short. So and to keep it short, I won't make any notes. I'll just do it all off the cuff, and then that way it'll just be and it'll be quick. And she's like, okay. So when I got up, the first thing I said was, we're here to celebrate Mary's 20th anniversary here and I said, now Mary didn't want to do this because she didn't like standing up in front of public like a lot of people. So I made a deal with her, and I said, I will not make notes. I will do this off the cuff. However, the joke is on Mary because I will be longer if I don't have notes.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway,
Well, one of the basics. Have you ever heard of yes and?
no.
The principle of yes and. It's
No
that,
way.
and I thought about this too, also in terms of like humor that anybody can do. Anybody can look at a picture and come up with their own caption for it, even if
Sure.
it takes them a little bit of straining. You could probably come up with a, and Stan Lee used to have those old comics that were based on captioning, and of course, Famous Monsters of Filmland is nothing but funny captions on photos. And that's a kind of a humor that is related to yes and in terms of like somebody on stage comes up with a premise, and your job is not to kill it dead. You have to say yes, and you had that uncle that also liked, women that look like chimps. And then, you go on from there. You have, that's all I can think of. That's how my mind works.
Gotcha.
I happen to be drawing a chimp-like thing right now, so that maybe that's got an influence. But
I gotcha.
but you have to you you can't imagine you're going to find humor in saying no, that's not the way it happened. You have to roll. You have to constantly be building, and so that sort of thing. And you have to be adding your own basically caption to the proceedings. Saying and hopefully finding some new thing to mine out of what you're all working on. And
Gotcha.
it's kind of fun if if you're a beginner and you go to a class where a guy really knows how to direct people into doing some of the exercises so, what is it called now, improv. I've thought many times about trying it again. The only thing I know about is our our good friend whose name I can't think of at the moment. It always shows up at the cons with the embroidered Cthulhu monsters. What's
Oh,
his name?
Scott McClung.
Yeah, Scott McClung. And he does it and has been doing it for some time with some group in Norman.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that about him. I had
yeah,
no clue. Had no clue.
yeah. I need to follow up on that someday. I'm trying to imagine the usual, just the usual demographic that would probably be interested in that. Here comes 67-year-old Ellis saying, "Hey, I'm up for a good time."
Yeah. Hey. Whatever.
Yeah.
You can't let your preconceptions
Well,
stop you
yeah,
from
yeah.
doing
No, no,
something.
no. That'll keep you from
You
doing
never
everything.
know.
Yep.
I was driving down the road one day. I was driving through a strip mall by my house, and in the screen printing shop, there was a sign that said Thursday nights drink and draw. So I
Oh,
pulled
yep.
over and I went in and I said, "Hey, tell me about this drink and draw." And
Hmm.
and it was, oh yeah, the guy that owned the shop, one of the owners, was an artist, and I got to meet, and so it's like, oh yeah, Thursday nights, and so I got to meet like a whole different realm of people
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it was all like skaters and graffiti artists.
yeah.
It was really cool. I
I
met
bet it
some,
was. I bet it was.
you
That's
know,
exactly the sort of thing that fellow that's suicidal needs to be doing for himself. He needs to get into a new world.
yep,
Just totally pick up stakes and say, let's try something here.
get out of
Just
your rut.
get out of your rut.
So speaking of getting out of your rut, I am
Yeah.
trying to get out of my rut here. Last time we talked, I was working on a comic page. Now I'm a little more serious about it. I have an actual story.
It looks like a story. I can read the story that's happening right here with the Twin Towers in the background.
Yep, yep. And the twin towers in the background are specifically because, and I haven't decided. It's to tell you that something is not right. This is
Yeah.
not current day, and
Hmm.
I kind of did this on. Now the plane isn't going to hit them. This is not. It's just go flying towards New York. but I wanted to put the Twin Towers very prominently because I wanted you to go, is it take place in the 80s, 90s? Is
Right.
it an alternate universe? And you don't know, and you may never find out because it's not relevant to the story. And it's basically my version of a Marvel Comics
It's
story.
1990 backwards. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe, like you say, if it's alternate universe, why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just draw what I want to draw, and I'm gonna wing it. I've got a story. I've got a story. It's going somewhere. I don't have these. I don't have. I only have the first couple pages plotted out, but thumbnails out. But I do have a story, and I do have an idea, and it's basically my idea that it really the best way to describe it would be what if uh, specifically Bronze Age Marvel Comics did Harry Potter? What would that be like? You
Hmm.
know, and
Well, there
you
you
know,
go. That's a real high concept that a guy can extrapolate a lot of stuff. Is that the right word? Extrapolate.
I think so. I think
I
so.
don't know. Probably.
And that now the obvious answer is, oh, you've got X-Men because that's. But if you read the X-Men, I recently read the first X-Men omnibus, and it was not like Harry Potter. I mean, it was there were a lot of there was very little school as such, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so that's some of the things I'm going to kind of change up a little bit, you know.
You're going to have your
It's
own Hogwarts kind of notion
kind of,
about
but
something.
it's
Yeah.
but it's in Manhattan because this is Marvel Comics,
Yeah.
Marvel Comics, 60s era or 70s era, but it's not necessarily going to take place in the past. I want it to just be a different universe than our own,
Hmm.
you know. And in fact, an example of that is in this panel that I'm drawing because I think I'm going to have this guy in the foreground looking at a cell phone. So it automatically has two panels that shouldn't exist in the same time frame, But I haven't thought that out that far, and I don't know the answer for that. I just want to set it up and see where it goes.
Well, that's it. It sounds fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I'm looking forward to it.
is he's just basically just showing he's arriving and debarking, so our airplane adventure is over. He's off the airplane at that
Yes,
point.
this
Okay.
is the airport. This is the
You
airport
just said
scene.
you're setting the scene.
I'm setting the scene. He's going to Manhattan, and he's going to be thinking how, it's the first time I've ever been to Manhattan. I'm so excited, and then he's going to be, I'm going into the city. And then, and this scene was going to be a street scene, but I think it's going to be I thought about showing him getting off but I think I haven't showed a good shot of the front of his face. So I think I'm going to change this panel to be more of a him in the back of the taxi kind of panel, you
Hmm.
know, and because I think this one would end up being too much like this one if I did. But this is going to be him in front of the school, and it's going to be, and he's going to go into school, and there's going to be kind of a mystery. I've listened. Have you ever read the Harry Potter books or listened to them or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I
Movies. That's it.
Oh yeah, I think you miss a lot because the movies. There's a lot in the books. The and don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of the books or whatever, but I have listened to them. We were in New York a few years ago, and I saw a ad for one of the movies, and I thought, I ought to check that out. And so I got the audiobook from the library, and so I listened to all the audiobooks. I think there were like 7 or 8 of them, and some of them were kind of dull, and some of them I kind of enjoyed, and I so I but so the it always starts off, they're in school and there's like a kind of a mystery at the school, and I don't know. I mean, I've got it in my head what's going to happen. I've got it
Are
written. I've
they
got
are they
notes.
wealthy kids or just kids that have been directed there because of things
No,
like special talents?
these are all kids with, and this will be the premise is like the original X-Men, which is they were people with something extra, and it's kind of a one you have one extra talent, and that's exactly what this is going to be. These all my characters have one extra ability of some sort, and there's going to be some shenanigans. I want it to be I want to be like the X-Men, but more focused on school stuff. You know,
Yeah, just do a lecture.
do what? Do a lecture?
Just do a
Yeah,
lecture. Yeah, have a guy stand up. Everybody go to sleep. There's one guy
yeah.
that. Story wise, what's your big conflict? What's going to rear its head in the middle of all this, to where everybody has to make a decision that sets them on course to get to know each other better and whatever.
Well, the conflict is going to be there's going to be so these are the people. Now it's like Marvel Comics, but it's not like Marvel Comics in that there are not going to be superheroes running around everywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so these people, as far as they know, are all the people with powers, and then there's going to be someone that shows up with powers, and there's going to be some conflict about who's this person? Why are they not part of our group? What's going on exactly?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the conflict, and there's going to be some conflict about who is this person, and it's going to be someone wearing a mask. They'll be masked. They'll be committing crimes, and it'll be like, is this someone in our group? And they'll be committed to certain factions in the school. Will be trying to determine if this is someone in the school or someone, you know, outside the school, and they'll have their ideas that may or may not be correct. And then it's like, well, how do you get somebody to listen to you when you're a kid?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds fun.
yeah, I think it'll be fun. My idea is I'll do it. It'll be
Did
20
you get your
pages.
spin on a story that may have been slightly told before? They've all been told before.
Yep, yep, yep. Zombies are not new.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I saw somebody that was making a point that was running some sort of Walking Dead Twitter account. It may have actually been some sort of official Walking Dead kind of thing, but they said, please unfollow me if you uh, have difficulties with, the whatever
Oh
all
yeah.
the all the gay initials.
Oh yeah.
I never can sort them out. But just follow me if you aren't staunchly behind all that. It's like, well, okay, just unfollow me. So okay, I thought this was about Walking Dead, obviously, and why not
Yeah.
unfollow you?
Yeah. Not your agenda or not a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly not
Well.
important enough to me. If
Yeah.
not as important as it is to you, apparently.
Well, you get to the point where it's like, well, I don't like you if you think like this.
Yeah. No.
You
It's
know.
this stuff is. It's obviously hardest on these stupid progressive. I'm the guy that ought to just be in a heap, basically, because I know what's coming. Biden is going to do absolutely nothing that surprises me. I know everything that is coming. That it's just going to be what I would expect if Obama had a third term. It's all that's going to happen, and all happens for a reason. And what can you do? Just hold on tight and hope someone's got the brains for a counterforce. But
Yeah.
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't want to turn this into
But all these
politics.
people yeah, I know we shouldn't delve too deeply, but all these people that can't let Trump go. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. They need him right now. You know, it's just a mental thing that he really was their crack. They, and
Oh yeah.
there'll be a while. There'll be a couple more weeks seeing him in their rearview mirror because they've still got issues.
Oh yeah. It's amazing some of the people that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, and can you imagine you're going to take a whole several weeks off, and then you're going to come back, and right there, central to your life again, is going to be Trump with the impeachment. Can you
Yeah.
imagine wanting to do that? So that's what they're up to. The only reason I think that they're doing it is to kind of, to some extent, keep eyes off of Biden while he does a few things. But I don't know. I mean, he's so blatant about it. Why would he care? Why would he try to do anything distracting? Why would?
Yeah.
It's all right out in front.
Yeah. The thing that I saw that was interesting was he put out the moratorium on drilling on, or what was it, the new leases on public land, and apparently in New Mexico they were just counting on these to make all this money, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait, we carried you and you're screwing us. It's like, well, yeah, what did you think was going to happen? You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
like I say, anybody that didn't see, you know, they call them low information voters. I don't know the kind of bubble certain people build for themselves that they can't see the real world. They can't see the cause and effects in the real world.
It's like, wait a minute, you're gonna, yeah, yay, stop these leases. Oh, wait a minute, that's gonna affect us. You know, it's like, well, yeah, no kidding. Well, you know,
that's classic. Don't gore my ox or whatever. You know, that stuff.
What is it? What you call that?
See, what do you call it? As long as my ox isn't being gored. Is that how that saying goes?
Well, the problem is when it comes from the president, everybody's ox gets gored.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I mean, there's no
no, there is. We all, like I've said probably too many times. I know I've said it too many times at this point, but I like the saying, is like the fish rots from the head.
Yeah, that's the Italian saying.
Yeah, it's just one of those ways of saying that you can't get over that when things are badly run from the top. That everybody suffers. Everybody suffers.
Yep. But, you know, anyway, so I'm working on this comic book. I'm getting pages back from my colors for Heaven's Rejects. They look really good. It's funny. She lives in, I don't know, Brazil, São Paulo, Brazil or something. And
São Paulo?
And I sent her a note today and said, hey, you know, I'm the artist on Heaven's Rejects. I just want to let you know, I think the pages look really good. And she sent me back a nice little note, said, oh, thank you. I think your art looks great. You know, I just said, hey, my thing said, you know, the pages look great. You know, what I've seen looks great. You know, I look forward to having you on the team. You know, thank you very much. And it was a nice little note from somebody that probably, just based on the profile, would not be in my regular circle. But I don't care about that. You know. Anyway, but that's cool. So that's chugging right along, and then I'm doing this thing just to do something, just because I got to stay busy.
Sure. You got to hone yourself. Here's something you were talking.
Yeah,
it's got too much of a highlight on it. There we go.
Oh,
drawing beautiful women, the Frank Cho method.
Oh, yeah.
I should have put bookmarks in this. I'll just take it out of range until. But here on the back, where he's got this little end paper where it says. There, I've told you my art secrets. Now I have to kill you. He really has, in a very admirable way, done a reduction on his thinking that is very, very valuable. It's
Yeah,
he's just giving you some kind of the big stuff about how to think about a few steps, a step by step on doing things. Of course, you're not going to do these fantastic compositions right away. This is a very Frazetta-esque melee kind of scene here, where that's just great groupings, great, of course, great rendering, but it shows the beginnings. Well, those aren't exactly thumbnails. But he's got a lot of stuff where he begins showing you his, very good. Oh, there's the thumbnail. See if I can get that. And it changed slightly as he went, but it's got all the gesture it needs right there in that little thumbnail. And it just shows you that that's how you do it. You get your eraser out, bring it up a bit at a time. I don't erase enough. I like to be done when I've done the rough.
oh yeah.
But that's how you would do it. That is the methodology, and I recommend the book just for that. He has, I think, made a kind of a contribution, kind of on the order of How to Draw the Marble Way. He really figured things out as a text for people.
I have that book. I should probably reread it.
You're
really selling it.
I tell you what, it is worthwhile to crack it again after you've looked at it and you've thought about the osmosis effect of it and how you ought to draw a couple of things in it. But then look at the text going along with the pictures and realize, yeah, I see what he's up to here. Oh, I wanted to tell you about my coffee addiction. I had to quit. I had to quit coffee again because I was going down the same road of just keeping a cup going all the time, all day long. So I quit again, and I said, life is too short. I like coffee. So I just decided the only way I can control it is to be like other people that the only coffee they get is what they get at Starbucks. Only I'm more budget minded. I'm getting mine on cue. So I've given myself 4 mornings when I'm coming back from my walk. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So Friday and Saturday are really happy days because right there in a row I'm getting coffee in the morning, and that's going to be the only coffee all day. One big old cup of coffee.
Get the coffee card.
Yeah. Is there such a thing?
Yeah, they have a card, or at least the one they did, and somebody told me they still do not long ago. If you get so many coffees, you get a free one. They punch a card.
Okay, I'll do that. Oh yeah,
so,
I'm all over that. I need that. I need freebies.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you. When I was working at home, dude, I was drinking a ton of coffee because the pot was always on.
Yeah, sure.
There's
something wrong if it's not on. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would I not have it on?
Yeah.
I since I've gone back to the office, I've slowed down because the coffee pot at work, they don't have a coffee pot because of the pandemic. So I'm limited to the coffee I can carry in a thermos, which is still plenty, by the way.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I mean, it's
about how many cups of coffee? About 6. Something like that.
I drink about a 10 cup pot a day, but I drink chicory. I drink chicory coffee because it has less caffeine.
Yeah, it's funny that way. I told this girlfriend that was stocking us up on things like Hostess cupcakes and stuff like that, which I find if I've got it around at that time, I found it kind of irresistible.
Yep,
and I would eat every one of those for however long I had them in the house, I'd know they were there, and I had to get at them,
Yep.
And
Yep.
if I'm going to quit something, I can't have it around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm 100% with you. I told my wife last night. I said, I'm glad I don't drink, because if I drank, I'd probably drink to be drunk every single night.
Well, that's the
Just,
deal. Yeah, yeah. If you got it, if you got your
I,
own little bar, it's like, hey,
yep.
it's going to
And
waste
I
over there.
would, and I would, I can promise you I would, I
Yeah,
mean, I just know what I'm like, you know.
yeah. You'd get into it. You'd say, the latest, and have your own bartending,
Yeah.
you know, knowledge.
Yeah. Well, plus alcoholics kind of run in my family too. So that's,
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to stay off of it then.
yeah. Luckily, no one in my immediate family that I know of, but certainly in my extended family. And so, I don't want to fall into that trap. I've seen these people really suffer for it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
there's not much worse suffering. Have you ever seen that? Oh, is it Albert Finney that was in uh, Two for the Road? Who am I? Yeah, it is Albert Finney. It's called Under the Volcano. No, no. Wait, no, no. Under the
Joe,
Volcano.
Joe, Joe versus the volcano. What?
No, no. It's Under the Volcano. It's a John Huston movie about this guy that is an alcoholic that has several things happen to him that runs him afoul of some people. But the main point is he's an alcoholic, and he's trying to be a functioning alcoholic, and he's and it's worked for most of his life in terms of function, but he's starting to lose his edge on function, and it's pretty. The performance by Finney as the alcoholic is it's pretty wrenching because he's obviously got people around him that mean something to him, and they mean something, and he means something to them, but it all doesn't matter when it gets down to him and that booze.
Oh yeah, addiction's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Uh, well, my cousin smokes or smoked, and we've been dealing with her, trying to help her quit because she has COPD. She has no,
She's got no reason to be smoking, huh?
yeah, no doubt. But it's like, I think we finally turned the corner, and she's not even off of like the nicotine gum and everything. So, and I mean, that's you know,
It's a
I,
big
and
deal.
I,
Nicotine's tough. It's really tough.
oh yeah, I believe it. Thankfully, that's another thing I've never done. But she's probably smoked since she was 12, but she's in her early 50s, so, but
I've got a set of taste buds that have never allowed me to become an alcoholic. I just cannot stand actual booze. Now I could become, and this was supposedly the case with David Letterman. He calls himself an alcoholic because he was a beeraholic, and I could be a
oh yeah,
beeraholic. But
oh yeah,
that'd be my only booze I could really abuse.
yeah. I've made the statement, and I hope it's not true about anyone in my company, but I think when this pandemic is over and people start going back to work, there'll be a lot of people that are used to sitting down at the desk, drinking a beer and working.
Hmm.
And then when the pandemic is over and they have to come back to the office, they're going to be in trouble, I
Yeah, I
think.
mean,
That's
yeah, it is. You can't get used to anything, though. That is one truism I kind of believe because I've had to get used to so many doggone unpleasant things. I think a person can adapt to just about anything, but at the same time, I mean, it probably will be tough on a lot of them to
I just think there are a lot
change
of
gears
people
again.
working at home. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to have trouble. At my work, I talk to people every day who are like, I love working at home. I never want to come back to the office. And my company, as soon as it's safe, I can promise you, it's going to tell people to come back.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they don't want people at home.
They want to
There's,
make sure they're getting their money's worth out of them. Yeah.
well, I think the feeling is most people are doing that, are pretty good about that. But there are people that are too hard to get hold of. There are orders that in fact, I know of an order right now I could tell you that I'm having to deal with that should have been taken care of in August, but the salesperson refused to answer any emails from the customer. It just kind of drug her feet on the deal, and now the customer's mad. Now, luckily, we've been able to sort it out, but it's like she just wasn't doing her job, and it's like she's working at home, and who knows what. Called a guy yesterday. Now he's on salary, so it's a little different, but called him yesterday, and he's like, "Well, on Tuesday," and he's pretty high up on the food chain, so he could do what he wants to do. But it's like, well, on Tuesdays I go pick up my kids because it's like he was in his car, and I'm talking to him about this order, and it's like, there are a lot of people like that are just hard to get. They're just a little harder to get hold of.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm back in the office. That working at home business is for the birds. But I do, what's bad is I hardly draw anymore at work. I mean, the days of me coming in and clocking in and sitting at my desk and working on a project, those are long gone. I'm all about, solving problems and all this jazz now, which is good. I think it's better for me in the long term because I think I'm more valuable to the company like that, because
Mhm.
no one wants to do some of that crap that I'm doing and just deal with phone calls and
That's the
answer
greatest
questions.
value is people that are willing to do what nobody else can or will do.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. But I mean, I go to work, and the people that work under me just kind of laugh because my phone just rings constantly, and it's like they're like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "No, it's just what I do. I talk on the phone." You know, somebody was telling me I couldn't stand a job that I had to talk on the phone all day, and I'm like, "That's all I do." Seems like that, and answer emails. Well, I got 75 emails today that had to be addressed by me.
Jeez,
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of engagement. Yep.
yeah, but I don't. I like it. I mean, that's you know. I mean, I enjoy it, and what's great is like upper management stuff is just like they come in and talk to me and they're just like, "Oh man, everybody appreciates what you're doing and you're doing a good job," and so we'll see. I told my wife either in 6 months or maybe a year, I'm either going to be making a lot more money or I'll be unemployed. So, you know, but things are going well at the company. I keep seeing big orders come through. So, I think we're going to be okay, provided there isn't some kind of, uh, you know, snafu regulation from the government,
We're here on YouTube here enjoying this little bit of free expression. Doug has apparently been kicked off for 7
What?
days. He's
Oh,
been kicked
7 days.
off for 7 days. They apparently.
I,
I'd be interested in the details on it, but you can expect that sort of thing with the kind of content Doug is kind of seemingly committed to putting out there,
yeah,
being
what's
semi-conservative.
So has he just decided to give up the comics thing and go full on political, or what's going on with his?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how he can continue what he had been up to, which was the idea that Trump, holding out hope that Trump had something,
Yeah,
some ace up his sleeve that was about to get played. Which I remained hopeful until the bitter end that maybe he could, because the only angle I felt should be played on it was that, hey, was an obvious cheat, and apparently these very smart people that are, a lot of them are lawyers and everything else, apparently couldn't come up with a really good proof of that cheat. And
Yep.
when and it's so annoying because I can't think of anything more obviously that just screams cheat than the idea that, Biden got the numbers he got and all these mail in ballots that the Democrats have all this harvesting background in. It's like it was just cheat from the
Yeah.
word go. And
Yep.
I don't want to have my vote canceled by such a multitude. I don't think they deserve to be graded on that kind of curve,
Yep.
you know, and and so we've got a president in here that I consider just completely bogus. That absolutely cheated. Oh, you know what? Nothing could get us struck quicker than all that stuff I just ranted about there. So we may lose this one. So it's
Well,
interesting.
we're on so far, so you're saying they may pull this.
Yeah,
Someone
it may
that
get flagged and pulled.
well,
I didn't
okay,
think about
whatever.
that, but Americans are used to saying what they think.
What they
But,
think,
but
yeah.
I'm just not into I haven't gotten into the new swing of things, I
Yeah,
guess.
you gotta get with the program,
Yeah,
Ellis. No more free thinking. You've gotta
yeah,
learn the double speak.
yeah.
Yeah, it's well, we'll see. I mean, I would love nothing better than to be wrong about some of this stuff that I'm, you know. And I'll be honest with you. I don't, I'm a very religious person, so I don't put a lot of my faith in human governments anyway.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's like, well, they're all going to fail. So
And that is one way to look at it that everything, I'm reading lately, it seems like I'm reading these Pressman books on that era of the Amazons and the Thermopylae fight and all that, between Persia and the
yeah, yeah,
Spartans, that sort of era. Well, that was a great era. That was the birth of democracy and all that. But at the same time, that also ended, and
yeah,
everything ends. And this great experiment that was their America, it was always going to end, but I didn't think it would, plummet so quickly. I
yeah,
don't think anybody did. It was just such concentrated effort by such powerful people that have never been richer in our history. They just had so much energy and power devote to uh, leveling the playing field, which is a code word for a very lefty notion of like destroying the middle class.
oh yeah,
Because that's how that playing field gets leveled. Is
yeah. You
uh,
don't rise up
yeah,
anybody.
you don't rise up. You just bring
Just
down that middle with
you all bring
that
yeah,
troublesome middle that's always complaining about things and all that. You just knock them out at the knees.
yeah. I watched a series, and I heard about this book, and so I just stumbled across it on Amazon Prime, and it's called "How Then Shall We Live," and it's by a guy named Francis Schaeffer, who's not who I thought he was. I thought he was a theologian or a minister out that I heard on the TV, but apparently I don't think it's the same guy. But he takes it's basically about the fall of Western civilization,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
and you should check it out. I think you would enjoy it because he talked it last night. I watched the first episode. It's old. I think it's from the '60s, but and it's a BBC thing. And last night I watched it, and it was about the fall of the Roman Empire, and it went through it, and it talked about why they fell, and it reminded me of something that you and I talked about a long time ago. And I was telling you how a lot of these people that are whatever, they're anti art. Now they'll make art, but it's ugly. And he talked about that at length about how in the Roman Empire you could compare, like he showed coins from like 3 centuries apart, and how the images on the first one were so much better and so more realistic than what was on the latter coins. It's just
Mm-hmm.
this idea that, and he talked about it from this idea that because they were humanistic, they basically had no concept of man. Their concept of man was based on nothing except himself, and so out of that sprang this kind of perverted art that, and part of it was their art tended to be obsessed with sex after a certain point, and even the stuff that wasn't, it was just this everything had to be ugly.
Mm-hmm.
They just they wanted to deny any kind of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that sounds familiar, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's how do you pronounce it? Modernity. Yeah, modern.
modernity, yeah. But apparently, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, no, no.
Fan,
That's the whole appeal of Chesterton, is that he was saying the same things about the same sort of problems we're having today way back then.
yeah,
It's
it's
kind of
nothing new.
kind of amazing.
Yeah, nothing new, certainly.
Uh, I started watching. I guess it was on Amazon for whatever reason. It was. I guess maybe it had commercials with it, and you could watch it for free. But I was
Maybe.
watching the Scarlet, what's her name, version of Ghost in the Machine. Uh,
Oh yeah,
you went to the
yeah,
theater to see that, didn't you?
yeah. I saw it at the theater. I have the Blu-ray.
Did you enjoy it? Because I was
Yeah, I thought.
enjoying it. I thought it
Yeah,
was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good.
So anyway, but then the next time I was going to resume viewing it,
Yeah, it wasn't
couldn't
free.
find it anywhere on Amazon. Yeah, it was only a rental if I wanted to get back to it. And then I
Oh, oh.
discovered I actually had a copy of it laying around, so
The
I have
library has it,
continued. Yeah, exactly. I must
and
have got it
I
from the library
well,
some point or other.
I think our friend had a digital copy.
Oh, maybe that's where I got it. Yeah, probably so.
May have, but anyway, well, I got one panel drawn. I think it
Excellent.
looks I think it looks pretty decent though.
I consider that hard. I noticed that you are actually trying, and I commend you for this because I tell you all the time to sit down and actually copy some of these people. You are actually going to the trouble of giving yourself just really great grids, like
Oh yeah,
uh,
like John Byrne does.
like John Byrne does, and that's a great part of what he does to copy. He
Yeah,
really gets that grid going,
yeah,
and never never shirks it.
yeah. I mean,
He
I've
gets it
got
in
it,
there.
and I don't know if you can see it, but I've got it in all my plant panels
Yeah.
on this page. So this is on that paper that I sent you the link to. It's copier paper. It's 110 pound, and
Have you tried inking it to make sure it doesn't bleed?
no. I'm not worried about inking this because I don't know what I'm going to do with this. If I ink it, I'll either blue line it, or if it comes out and I like it, I have a guy that I want to use to ink. I may hire him to ink it. You know, I don't
Hmm.
know. I haven't decided, but for now I'm just doing it, and we'll see how it works. You know.
Yeah, I'll that 110-pound bond. I think that'll work all right.
Yeah, I think it will. It's not slick. I like it because and I think the other side is actually slicker than this side. You can't spray can see any of this. This side I copied on, and this is just a file. The blue line is just a file that I have. I just printed me out a couple pages to see if I like it. And it took
Hmm.
me a little bit to get used to it, but I kind of like it. Years ago, when Office Max went out of business, I was in there, and at the time I was just doing samples for people, and they had on their clearance thing, they had a ream of paper, and it was 11 by 17, and it was, I don't know what it was, but it was heavy. It's the page that I drew on last week, and I just ran out of it. I bought it, and I've used it forever. It was this, but see, I think it's a little bit more. I don't know if it's because I've drawn on it. I don't think it's quite as bright as my new stuff, and it's a little bit lighter. This new stuff's a little bit nicer. I think it's a little bit nicer to draw on too. But anyway, so I'm just I'm gonna work on this, and if I go somewhere with it, I mean, I want to finish it. I figure at the very least, I'll make an ash can, and then maybe like, I don't know. I mean, if my book comes out, I'm supposed to be going to cons. Maybe when my book comes out, if it does well, I'll launch this as a Kickstarter. I don't know, but I'm kind of preparing. I thought about it's like, what can I do to prepare myself to be successful once my book comes out? And the thing is like, well, if I have another project, something that I own that I can do stuff with, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Give myself a chance of being successful.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm glad you've come around to that. That's everything I'd want you to be up to with
now
your
I'm
time
nervous.
on that. Yeah. No. I mean, I may not have any follow through myself, but I've got it figured out how you ought to be doing things.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm changing this panel. This panel is going to be a street scene, but I've decided you don't have a panel of the guy's front of him looking forward, and so I'm going to do him in the back of this taxi that he's hailing. So he's hailing a taxi, which I need to put a taxi thing on the top of it, but he's hailing this taxi, and
hey, I've got a story to get into.
Yeah, so take him to Manhattan, and then he's going to go here, and he's going to go into this. It's going to be, he's going to be in the street in front of this school, and I'm going to come up with some kind of impressive-looking facade for this school. And I haven't yet figured out the name of the school. I don't even have the name of the book yet. I was calling it Project X, but I think that's too derivative to actually be the comic name. So, but we'll see. Yeah, I kind of like this panel. To me, it's about the right amount of detail.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, one point perspective is always great for leading the eye.
Yep.
Hey, but hold that panel up close. Let me solo layout it. That one panel. Let me look at it. Wait a second. Let me find. Yeah, the one you drew that you like. Dang it! Where's that solo layout? There it is. Okay. Okay, now there's the horizon line. Okay, which we would all know where it's at. Okay, yeah. I mean, but I'm just worried about the perspective is, yeah, it's working out all right. That guy at the top there, that he would have his perspective of his eye line going through those people's eye line perspective, I guess.
Yeah. It's there. The horizon line's there. It cuts in. Now this guy's young. He's 16.
It cuts him through. Yeah, do that again. Show me where the horizon line is. Does it cut him through the torso all at the same spot? Pretty much. Yeah.
He's smaller. He's younger. So
but where the horizon? Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So he would be a little bit. Yeah. I did it, but yeah, I mean it cuts them all about the right spot.
Yeah. No, I was only worried about that guy on the very right, maybe being a little high.
Oh yeah. No, I think he's okay.
Yeah, there's your art tip for later viewers. Can you imagine somebody hanging through 54 minutes of this and actually getting this knowledge about perspective?
Yeah, draw all the horizon line in any picture, if it's correct, will cut through all people
at the same point.
At the same point of their body.
Yeah.
So if the horizon line, for example, cuts them all across the navel, it will cut through everybody that's the same height's navel.
Yeah.
So that's how you can determine where.
That's
Yeah.
your ballpark on where you, and you'll see a lot of guys like that great Carmine Infantino's artwork where he likes to just have a horizon line that's basically at everybody's feet. So
Yeah.
he places his figures based on only that. It's like everybody's receding in perspective, but he gets to place them exactly how he wants to place them because it all works as long as that that horizon line does hit them in all the same spot.
Yeah. That's a cheat, kind of, but it's not
Yeah, it is.
really.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's not. You know.
Oh, look at this. I guess somebody was actually lurking, and they finally made it to the art advice section. Yeah, some big jerk or Gene Hole. Yeah,
That's why he's a jerk.
no, I guess he probably just had it playing while he was doing something.
Probably. That's what several people have said.
Yeah,
That's
but,
okay.
yeah. Now we'll talk about movies. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean, hopefully, I don't know.
No,
But
I mean that's the way to do things. I'm doing this little strip. I'm doing is just based on doing it.
well, you've inspired me. And so it's like, okay, I have free time. I'll work, so-called free time. I'll work on a comic, and with no real intention of doing much with it, except for having it available if I have the opportunity to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, well, because, I'm confident that Heaven's Rejects will go well, and so they may open the door for me. And if I have, it's like, well, I had this book that I did right after Heaven's Rejects, and I'm able to draw what I want, and it's not a my thing is I always wanted to draw like a Marvel comic, and it's not a Marvel comic, but it's I'm doing it like I want to do it. I'm drawing the style I want to do it. Good. You should be drawing while you're listening.
Yeah,
Some big jerk.
Gene
The
Hole. Yeah, he may not
anyway.
want to be identified.
Oh, is that? Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I know he's on Twitter. I see him all the time on Twitter.
Oh yeah. Dox him. Don't dox him.
Yeah. Like
Anyway.
So we're at 57 minutes.
Oh
We
yeah.
started kind of late, but that's all right.
Well, I was gossiping.
Yeah, that's all right.
I do. I gossip a lot too nowadays. So
Well,
so
yeah, go ahead.
well, I'll tell you a work story. So I went to our warehouse, or not our warehouse, our wood shop, and so I go over there, and I get stopped by somebody because I'm in charge of our sculpting department, and our sculpting department used to be in the wood shop. Okay, it was like in the back of the wood shop, and so now I'm their boss. So I go over there, and like people stop me, and they're talking to me, and they're and the sculpting department, their old boss is talking to me, and anyway, so I get I come back, and I have all these messages and all this stuff I got to check on and stuff. And so I'm telling this girl, I was telling her, yeah, because she was talking about, what took you so long, and I said, well, I got stopped by this person, and I said, yeah, when I was a kid in high school, I wanted to be popular, and then now I realize how bad it sucks. Now I want to be left alone, so to speak, sort of.
At least have a little more, little less
Yeah.
frenetic stuff. So
Yeah.
Gene doesn't mind being called by his name there. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's yeah. The yeah.
Too late. So what was I seeing? Oh yeah, that made me think of Mel Brooks because of you. Did you hear who died? Of Cloris Leachman died.
Oh yeah.
Frau Blucher.
Oh yeah.
Of because she was also the hunchback in High Anxiety. That's got
Oh,
one of
really?
my favorite sight gags in it, where Harvey Korman, Frau Blucher's paying very close attention to how long the little fruit dish is out, and Harvey Korman comes in late when the fruit dish has already been pulled from dinner,
Yeah.
and he comes in, whips out his napkin, and he looks down, sees that it's gone. And I don't know, Cloris Leachman's sadistic joy in Harvey Korman not getting his fruit cut cracked me up. Those kind of people are so rare that can, just kill you with a look, very carefully practiced look.
Yes. Well, Ellis, I'm out of coffee, so I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, it's time to go get coffee.
Yep, I need to go get coffee.
For those that drink coffee.
I have 172 followers on YouTube now. Thank you for everyone that's following me. I don't think I've added any content. I need to add some content. I'm not. I'm free tomorrow night. I may do some content tomorrow night.
Excellent. Yeah, you got to keep that content going. Scott Adams is almost an addiction, and he understands that. What with his training as a manipulator and an influencer, as he calls it, he says that part of it is that you need it now. He has become a regular part of what you are used to taking in. And that sort of content production will almost guarantee a kind of a success, if people can depend on you.
Yeah, I can see that. I need to do some of that. I have been. I was given recently. What was it? Sunday. My mom gave me a box of audio cassettes of old church services, of old sermons from the 70s and 80s from when I was a kid at my church. And so I'm going to start digitizing them. I ordered a thing that you it's like a Walkman, but it has a USB port, and you plug it into your computer. And
cool.
And so I've done one, and I put a link to it on my Facebook page, but I need to figure out the best way to put it online. So far, I'm releasing them as podcast, but I'd like to find something a little bit different than that. But
well, anyway, your YouTube channel, you could put up an old-timey image, just one image.
Well,
and it's something like iMovie, just have the MP3 playing under it. And,
I tried to do that, but I don't have iMovie. I tried to do it with Audacity. I made the right file format, but it still told me it's not a video. It recognized it wasn't a video. So I don't know. I'll work on it. That's kind of something I'm doing.
You exported it as an MP4, and it still wouldn't.
Yes, it still wouldn't take it. No, it knew that I was trying to trick it. Because I thought, well, I could make a YouTube channel just for this, and that'd be the most accessible thing to people. But oh well. Anyway,
hey, look at this. Gene Hull has been doing the same things with tapes of sermons my grandfather did as a preacher. How about that?
Oh, really? Cool.
Great minds think a lot. Well, we'll see you, Gene. And
hey, whoa, Gene, some big jerk. Shoot me a link if you put them somewhere. I'd be interested in hearing them. I'll listen to them for sure. I like listening to old sermons.
Yeah, do it to me on Twitter. You know where I'm at, Gene. I'll send it to Scott.
Yeah, that'll work. Just send a link if you're posting them online. Now, if you're just digitizing them, that's the one thing. But yeah, if you're posting them, shoot me a link or whatever. I'd appreciate it. I'll definitely listen to them. Anyway,
Gene replies, sure.
Okay, cool. Look forward to that. Okay.
All
Are
You
we
ready to
done?
quit? Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching this.
Okay, we'll see you. Yeah, in case there's anybody else just drawing and listening.
Yep. There's a few people watching.
Okay, bye.